doing our opening song. We all, I think, know this song is called Got That Joy, 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 Joy Down. And the second verse is we've got the love, 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 love. And then it's I've got the peace that passes understanding.
Now get all those words, understanding.
Down in my heart, okay? If you want to stand, you can stand. If you want to, let's go. Let's go. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart.
What?
Down in my heart.
Where?
Down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay. I've got the love, 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 love down in my heart. Down in my heart. Down in my heart. I've got the love, 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 love down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of spirit in my heart. Yes, I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of spirit in my heart. I've got the peace that passes understanding down in my heart.
Where?
Down in my heart.
Where?
Down in my heart. I've got the peace that passes understanding down in my heart.
Where?
Down in my heart to stay. And I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of spirit in my heart. Yes, I'm so happy, so very happy. I've got the love of spirit in my heart. Let's say hello to your neighbors.
Are we covered? Wonderful. Wonderful, I'm back in my projects again. Hi, Linda. Oh, hello. I haven't seen you. I'm doing so well. Good. I'll tell you about when I took you the other night. Good morning. Good. Morning, Mary.
She has
There he is, standing all by himself. He doesn't want any hug.
How are you, Ted? Good morning. How are you today?
Morning, how are you? I have to wait my turn.
Yes, yes, it was good. That was good. Fun to have to share with her too. Like, I've actually
Do we have any newcomers in the audience today?
Thank you.
We have a full house today. There's got to be some newcomers today. We have newcomers. You don't look new to me, but you're new.
Although we have been here before.
Wonderful.
Darlene and Dale Howard.
Darlene and Dale Howard. And do you live in Sun Lakes? Cottonwood, okay. Well, wonderful. Welcome.
Welcome.
We're excited that you're here. Anybody else? All right, we'll say our welcome blessing. Everyone, we love you, we bless you, and we welcome you. So I just wanted, before we say our opening prayer, to tell you a little bit about my escapades. Two Sundays ago, after the service, I went to Kansas City, Missouri, to Unity Village. Oh my gosh, I got off the plane, I got in my rental car, and the whole feeling was holy. The whole thing. It's like green, wide open spaces, beautiful air to breathe. Just incredible feeling. And then when I got to Unity Village, every single person that greeted me, especially like in the hotel, the staff, they were just different. Loving, you know? Just so loving. And even the workers that were working on the lights, I passed by them a few times, and one time I said good morning, and the man said good morning back, and he said, how are you? And I said, I'm great, how are you? He said, so blessed. Oh. And then I got to go on a tour of the whole, I met several of the people that Kenny, you and I have been talking to. I met them, they were so loving. And I had all kinds of information for me as far as schooling and what I need to go through. And then Diane Pletcher, she gave me a tour of the grounds. The only thing I didn't get to see was the tower. And the activity where they actually have mass, or excuse me, service. Service. Oh, I know it. But the most precious was going to Silent Unity. And I can see some of you've been there. Oh man. First of all, I went to the meditation. It was 20 minutes, and they pray over all the prayers. Probably some of our prayers were in this basket. And then we did a 20-minute meditation, and then after that, I got to go upstairs to see the people that actually are praying, and at the phones. So the thing is, you can't really pray with someone in person unless you go to the meditation. But if you want to pray, you just walk in to pick up the phone, and someone says, hello, it's Silent Unity, we're ready to pray with you. And so there's cubicles kind of like where I work, except there's no walls. And people actually get paid to pray. Did you know that? If you moved to Unity Village, you have your own cubicle, computer, phone, and that's what you get paid to do. I didn't know that. It's amazing. And I believe they work 8-hour shifts. Every hour they get a break. And then the next floor up is one person sitting in this beautiful, I can't even explain. You have to feel it. But they are sitting there holding vigil over all of these written prayers that have been sent for 30 days. And just like all other organizations, they are looking at technology to perhaps outsource, or not necessarily, or outsource, but maybe now start going to other cities and having opportunities for people to work for Silent Unity outside of Unity Village. So there are deer everywhere, especially, of course, at night. I was driving around when I got there that night. It was dark, and I just had to see the whole thing, and I just kept driving, and deer were everywhere. Tame. They didn't run when they saw me, so it was just a really magical experience. And the psychiatrist said, I don't believe you're going to hurt anybody, Jeanne. Thank God. And then last weekend, oh, we have slides. And then last weekend, the women's retreat was, like I said, it was intimate. There was 15 people in one house, and it was unbelievable. So really want to encourage you guys to partake, if you can, in
women's ministries, retreats and such, because there is nothing like connecting woman to woman at the heart. It was beautiful. So let's go into our opening prayer. Let's bow our heads and tune into the divine, remembering the beautiful sunshine this morning, the air that we breathe, our homes, our place of security and safety. And we know that God is there in all of it. And we are in all of it as well, because God is in all of us. We are one with the divine. And so we're truly grateful to come together as a community of like minds who know each other as God, who honor each other's gifts. We bless each and every one of us that are here today. And we know that each person here has a gift to offer, and we're truly grateful for you coming today to make us whole. We are a whole unit together. Today we talk about opening our hearts and being willing to allow the divine to express in us, through us, as us. And so we call this service good. And so it is. So let's say our open mission statement together. Can you see it?
We have the lights on.
Oh, thank you, Julian. I can read it and you can repeat after me if you'd like. Yes? We are a spiritual center of love and light, teaching and supporting one another in transforming our lives by living the truths taught by Jesus Christ and other master teachers. And our vision statement: a world of oneness where all people are free to express their divine potential. Yay, God. So our special reading this morning will be delivered by Martha Carrasco.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Okay. All righty. Well, we all know where Jeanne started going to church as a young child. don't we? And I started in the same place. How many of you did? How many of you started with Mass? Yeah, that's what I thought, quite a few of us. And you know that when we started, one of the things that we did over and over and over was talk about, Lord, I am not worthy, Lord, I am not worthy, Lord, I don't know how many times those words were drummed into our heads, into our hearts, into our souls. But we've changed now. We know that that's not who we are today. We still embrace everything that we've come from, because we know that everything that we've come from, everything that we've learned in the past, makes us the wonderful, magnificent people that we are today. And so we're grateful for all that we have in our past. Sometimes, though, we decide that we're going to shift gears. We're going to go into something else. And recently, I ran across some words that came across my computer, a link that came in by Cheryl Richardson. Are any of you familiar with Cheryl Richardson? So she does great stuff. She has written several wonderful, wonderful books, and some of the titles are Take Time for Your Life, Life Makeovers, and she even co-authored a book called You Can Create an Exceptional Life with Louise Hay. She still does wonderful work as a life coach, and she does some blogging. So anyway, I ran across this little article that she wrote, and she starts out by saying, it's called, Is It Time to Change the Channel? It was a raw, rainy day, and I woke filled with dread at the thought of commuting into Boston for a morning meeting. After getting dressed and making a cup of tea for the road, I made my way to the garage, fighting the wind for my umbrella and doing my best to keep my hair and clothes from getting soaked. I don't know about you, but I would love to get soaked these days. It's all a matter of perspective. As soon as I sat down in my car, an old familiar song started playing in my head. Traffic's gonna suck, I'm gonna be late, it'll be hard to find parking by the time I get into the city. I noticed my thoughts and quickly switched to a positive station, but the moment I hit standstill traffic, the old tune started playing again. It takes such vigilance to watch our thoughts, to notice we're thinking from past negative experiences, and then do what's necessary to send the mind in a new, supportive direction. But this practice is fundamental to living a good life. When I arrived in the city, I pulled into the first parking garage I could find, left my keys with a friendly attendant, and headed for the street. Umbrella firmly in hand, I told myself that it was fun to walk in the rain, that my business meeting would be interesting and inspiring, and that the day would flow smoothly. I rode the elevator up to the lobby of the building, and when the doors opened, I was face to face with a short, brown man dressed in black and white with a red bow tie and a big toothy grin. Over in his breast pocket was a monogram that let me know he worked for the building, so I went to ask for directions. "Welcome to a wonderful day," he bellowed, his voice booming over the busy lobby crowd. "You've come to the right person. Today is going to be an amazing day, and all you need to do is keep smiling." Which is exactly what I started doing the moment he opened his mouth. This sweet man with infectious energy walked me to the opposite side of the building, took me out to the street, and pointed me in the right direction. "How long have you been working here?" I asked, curious to know more about this unexpected angel. "And are you always this happy?" "I've been working as a doorman in this building for 18 years, he explained with pride, "and it's the best job in the world. Every day, I get to remind people to smile and be happy. Because it's a choice, you know. And we can decide to make every day a great day." We chatted for a few minutes before I left, feeling grateful for the way life provided evidence that my decision to focus on a more positive experience caused my physical reality to change. It all starts with a crazy simple formula. First, notice your thoughts. Next, pull yourself out of the past and into the present moment. Third, shift your thinking to an experience you'd like to have. And finally, look for evidence that your new neural program is up and running properly. Find the good in front of you. Today, I turn to this formula more quickly than ever before, and I have no doubt it's soon to become an unconscious habit, one I gladly welcome into my life. You can too. The thing you're worried about right now, the person you're frustrated with, or the fear that's keeping you stuck, are all providing you with an invitation to change channels and play a new song. Are you ready?
Our daily word this morning will be by Reverend Julia Norton. Today's daily word is pray for others.
Good morning. I trust God in you. It's been said that a friend is someone who knows the trust for you until you know it for yourself. As I pray for others, my intention is not to solve problems, but simply to know the truth, to see the situation rightly. As I receive a prayer request, I remember that the one for whom I pray is an expression of God, made in God's image and likeness. As I pray for healing, I affirm God's life expressing. As I pray for prosperity, I affirm God's wisdom and understanding are guiding the one for whom I pray to greater abundance. As I pray about a relationship concern, I affirm that God's love is active in everyone involved. I pray in faith, affirming I trust God in you for each one I hold in prayer. I have prayed for you that your own faith may not fail. Luke 22:32.
And now it is time for our meditation with Francine Alexander. And Julia Bristow is going to do our channeling meditation today.
We are connected by the heart. Where do you end? Where do I start? Anything you pray for, if fear is in your way, I am here to listen to anything you need to say. Your prayer is my prayer too. Your prayer is my prayer too. Whatever you feel, I feel too. You're the part of me, and I'm a part of you. Your prayer is my prayer too. My prayer too. My prayer too.
Let's take a nice deep breath. As we're taking that deep breath, we're noticing that our shoulders are relaxing. Our feet are on the floor firmly, and making that connection to the earth, making the connection to the higher self. As we're doing that, we're welcoming this beautiful day. Noticing it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. And as that thought comes around us, remind us of the little children, our little children within us, and all the little children. In this meditation is for this beautiful prayer for all the little children. And we're, like I said, we're including ourselves as when we were little children. They're still there within us. And we see this beautiful light shining on all the children, no matter where they are, what they're doing. And we welcome the thought that these little children are going to become beautiful, inspired. Shine the light. And as we're shining the light, we also see and they're all smiling. Each one at a time. One smiling at the other. And again, we are included in this. Our little child within us is smiling. No matter what it is that's going on around these little children around us, smiling. Because within our hearts we know that we are protected, we're loved, we're guided. We know this so truly as we see this light all around the little children. They know that they are guided, protected. And we are adding to that beautiful light. And just within yourself, just wherever it is that comes to you, to add and to bring onto all these little children. Just take a moment and let your heart just reach out and whatever your heart says. And know that your heart is smiling. And know that your heart is filled with love that is being surrounded with this light, added to the way to come. Do you not see them all smiling? Do you all see them protected and guided? Do you all see them with love all around them? Now you have a big smile on your face. I'll show it is. It's what it is.
And now we'll do our Aramaic Lord's Prayer together. O birther of the cosmos, focus your light within us. Make it useful. Create your reign of unity now, your one desire that acts with ours, as in all light, so in all forms. Grant us what we need each day in bread and insight. Loose the cords of mistakes binding us, as we release the strands we hold of another's guilt. Don't let surface things delude us, but free us from what holds us back. From you is born all ruling will, the power and the life to do the song that beautifies all. From age to age it renews. I affirm this with my whole being. Amen. And now it's time to welcome our music team this morning. Jane Gallagher, Kay Davis, and Ed Davis.
about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. About lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. There's a voice that I've heard for years. I learned to keep it inside. Well, now it's coming in loud and clear. I want a deeper love. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open. It's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about lending a hand. About lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. In the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.
Oh, that was fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay. The perfect song for this morning's lesson. Just leave it like that. Swing wide the doors. I love it because today is all about talking about the open heart. Do I have to hold the mic? Can you hear me okay? Okay. Okay. All right. So in Thanksgiving time, the time of thankfulness and gratitude, it's a good time to talk about our heart. Because during this time, during the holidays, some of us can begin to get overwhelmed with all the busyness of the holidays and the things to do. And some of us can also get caught up in things that have happened in the past, which can cause us sadness during this time. So we're going to talk about wholeheartedness for the rest of the month. And I do think I have a slide up there about the definition of what wholeheartedness means. And we're going to be talking about 4 different aspects. A heart that is open, that is full, that is clear, and is strong. And this week, we're going to work on an open heart. So your song was perfect. I love how that all works together. And I had it in my head that you were going to sing Your Prayer is My Prayer too. I've been singing it all week, so we were totally connected, all of us. And I love that synchronicity. So I'm going to start with talking about a story today. It's a story about a young boy named Shaya who lived in Brooklyn, New York, and he attended a school for Jewish children that have learning disabilities. And on Sundays, he goes to a yeshiva, which is a school for children that do not have disabilities. So So one day, Shea and his father were walking to the yeshiva, and he joined all the other children who were already out in the field playing baseball. And Shea looked at his father and he says, "Dad, do you think I could join the game?" Well, his father knew, right then and there, he knew Shea was not athletically inclined. He also knew that he didn't have the eye-to-hand coordination to hit the ball. He also knew that he couldn't run fast. And finally, he knew, though, that if he was allowed to play in this game, that he would feel such a sense of belonging and connection with those other boys. So he thought it was worth asking if he could play. So I want to stop the story right here and ask you, though, to tune into your own heart for a moment. Think about the things that are on your heart that you want, but perhaps you don't want to ask for because you already know the reasons why you're not going to get it. What are those things that are already there that perhaps your heart is closed to because you already know? But it's so worth it to ask anyway because we're divine beings. We might not get what we ask for. We might get hurt. We might feel unworthy. We might go, "Why did I even ask in the first place? What a dumb thing to ask for." And then heart closes. And even unconsciously, we don't even know our heart has closed on these things. So these are some of the questions I want you to ponder today. But for now, let's get back to Shea and his baseball game, which is so cool because you talked about children. Okay, so the father walked up to a boy in the outfield and he says, "Do you think that Shea could join your team?" Well, the boy squirmed and he looked at his feet and then he looked around for his teammates and he didn't get any help from them. So he had a choice. At that moment, am I going to open my heart or am I going to close my heart? Well, he made a choice to open his heart in that moment. He said, "We are in the 8th inning, we're down by 6. We'll put him on the team and we'll see if we can get him up to bat in the 9th inning." So Shea was instructed to go grab a glove and go play short in the outfield. And he had a smile on his face so big you couldn't believe it. His father was ecstatic. So we're now at the bottom of the 8th inning. And Shea's team is up to bat. And they score 3 runs. But they're still behind by 3 runs. So we're at the top of the 9th inning. And the other team goes up to bat, but they didn't score. We're at the bottom of the 9th inning. Shea's team had scored again, and now we're down by 3 points. 2 batters get up to bat, and they struck out. 3 more batters get up to bat, and they're all bases loaded now. Guess who's up to bat? Shea's father is excited, he's delighted, he's in sheer terror. What are they going to do? Are they going to let him bat? Are they going to risk this opportunity to win? I don't think they're going to do it. Surprisingly, they let him bat. Grab a bat, Shea. Shea gets up to bat. And the pitcher decides, rather than to throw in a fast pitch like all the other boys got, or a knuckleball, or a slider, he decides to come closer and give him this sweet lob. Not surprisingly, though, Shea couldn't hit the ball. So a teammate came up to him and he said, "I'm going to help you." He says, "Take the batter's stance." And the guy came up behind him and they were both holding the bat. So the pitcher comes up again, even closer, and he lobs the ball in. They hit the ball and it went straight to the pitcher. So the pitcher picks up the ball and he threw it way out in right field. And everyone screamed. Now the crowd is just, the dynamics are just, oh, and they're screaming, run! Run to first base, Shea! Run! And he didn't even know what first base was. But the other team's first baseman would say, come on, come on. And so he ran with this startled look on his face and full of excitement. And when he got to the first base, the first baseman on the opposing team said, run to second, Shea, run to second. The whole crowd, run to second, Shea! So he started running. The ball is out in the outfield now. He could have easily threw it to the second baseman and got Shea out. But what did he do? He figured out what was going on, the pitcher's intention. And he threw that ball way over, and it went way over past the second baseman. By the time he got to the second baseman turned him towards third and said, run to third, Shea, run to third! And so he starts running. The crowd is with him, and they're all screaming. The other team did not pick up the ball. They started chasing Shea. And they followed him, and Shea got all the way to home base, stepped on the base, and all the boys on both teams surrounded him, picked him up, put him on their shoulders, and made him the hero of the game. It was the highlight of Shea's life.
Why did they...
So why do I tell you that story? It opens our heart. Helen Keller, I have a quote up here from Helen Keller who said it best. The best and the most beautiful things in life cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt by the heart. So we felt that story not because it's a story, to make us cry and open our hearts, but it's a story about opening your heart to kindness, to caring, to having compassion for another human being. In summary, to love. And although I doubt that any of those boys knew that what they were doing was opening their heart to caring or compassion or kindness, they didn't know who they were in their heads. They knew it in their heart. So this morning we're going to look at one of the ways to live a wholehearted life. And I want to offer a way that we can open our hearts wider than they have ever been opened before. Or encourage you, if you are inclined to close your heart at this time of the year, to keep it open. So there's a different way to look at ourselves as love. Are you paying attention? It's different. We've all been told that we must first love ourselves before we can love another. Right? We can spend all kinds of time in therapists, with counselors, with ministers, just to learn how to love ourselves. But yet, we still kind of keep reverting back to our childhood in many ways, and we can only see ourselves through other people the way they see us. We only see our flaws, we only see our mistakes and our failings. So we try to love ourselves in spite of all of this. And then we try so hard because we know that when we finally can love ourselves, life is going to be so great. Everything's going to be so easy. That's what we've been told our whole life. So here's the subtle difference that I want to make today. We don't need to try to love ourselves. Instead, all we need to do is open our hearts to know ourselves as love. That very essence of our worth and purposefulness and our value lies in this spiritual truth, that we are love. Joel Goldsmith once wrote, "Love does not come to us. Love is within us, and we must open a way for it to escape." That's the open heart. The 13th century Persian mystic Rumi wrote, "Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it." That's the open heart. Holmes, in Living the Science of Mind, wrote, "God has deposited love at the center of your being, whether we know it or not. You have the right and the freedom to know yourself as love." But here's the second part of it. To be completely joined with that which extends and then completes our love. Know yourself as love, and then join with that which completes and extends your love. So the boy who said yes to Shea, and then all the picture and all the boys got involved, they didn't know it in their heads that they were loved. But by doing the actions that they did, they joined, they extended their love, and then they completed it for everyone that was there. And now for all of us who hear the same story. A few years ago in Chicago, there was a little boy, 3 years old. He was at the zoo. They were looking at the gorillas. And here's a true story, which will open your heart in an unexpected way. He got away from his parents, and he climbed over and he fell 18 feet into the gorilla containment. And his mother was just horrified, understandably. People were screaming and watching, and some people were running to get the zookeeper to help. And there was a gorilla in there, a mama gorilla. Her name was Binti Wah, and she had a 17-month-old baby on her back. She walked up to the little boy, who's now unconscious, lying there in their cave, and she gently picked up the baby. And she walked over to the door where now the zookeeper was waiting and handed the baby over. That's God. The little boy went to the hospital for 4 days and came home fine. So let's say our affirmation together. Today I open my heart to know myself as love, and I choose to join with that which extends and completes my love. And so it is. And now we have another song. Kay Davis. Like the old days.
Send your love out to the world. Stand up and raise your voices in the name of love. Show the way to make a world they're dreaming of. Send your love out to the world. Oh yeah. Send your love right from the heart out to the world. This great big world. Hand in hand, the time is now. We're God's children, we know how. Send your love out to the world. Right to the world. This great big world. Send your love, send your love.
And now it's time for our offering. So let's take our offering into our hands. Place it on your heart. This is where we have our opportunity to give thanks for our church, for our community, and that we continue to grow and continue to be with each other and grow in spiritual knowledge. So let's say our offering blessing together.
As me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. I am so blessed. Thank you, God. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. And again, I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And we take these gifts and we say our offering gratitude. We give thanks for these many blessings of today and know they are but a symbol of the inexhaustible substance of the universe. I give thanks that 10 times as much is now on its way to me and quickly manifests in perfect ways. God is with us. And now it's time for our announcements. We have our Reiki Share Group that meets at 9:30 on Tuesday mornings in room A2 of the Cottonwood Country Club. All are welcome. We have choir rehearsal and
We will be doing that this week at Reverend Maria's house on Friday afternoon at 4. No, we changed. Because now we can have Reverend Jeanne with us because she can come at 4 o'clock on Friday. That's why. So that'll be very cool for our alto section.
that'll be fun.
Yes, thank you.
And then we have our board meeting this Thursday at Kenny's at 4:30 at Kenny's house. All are welcome. Yes. And our prayer partner meetings are held the third Thursday of the month at 10 a.m. in room 3 of the Cottonwood Country Club. Our prayer partner today is Reverend Juliet Bristow. And we also have the prayer box in the back. And I promise you, Silent Unity receives our prayers. And then Betty would like to do an announcement today about our Explorers event.
Yeah.
Finally, the time is here. Thank God. Finally, the time is here for our trip to True Garden on Wednesday of this week, and we will be meeting at the Cottonwood flagpole at 9:30. It's a half an hour drive over there, so I hope everybody will be on time. If your name is not on this list, I'm going to send an email probably on Tuesday to remind you. And we're looking forward to a wonderful experience with True Garden and then lunch at Eggington's in Mesa, which will be really cool. And so, be there.
It says 10 up there, but usually 9:30, right?
What?
It says 10 up there, 10.
No, it's 9:30 because we usually meet at 10, but because we have a little bit of a drive, we're doing meet at 9:30. And we will be going on the freeway, and so far I think there are 10 of us, maybe 11 with a guest that we have who's coming with us. So we will be going on the freeway, and I hope we'll have a few volunteer drivers who will drive on the freeway because that's the fastest way to get there. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any announcements?
Yeah, do you know they're working on the freeways now?
Oh, yeah, they
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they are working on the other ones now as well.
101, it's just a mess.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyone else? All right. I'm enjoying these special readings that you guys are bringing. I think they're fabulous, and I'm always looking for people to do. So if you're interested in sharing your gifts that way, please let me know, so I don't have to chase people down. I'd appreciate that. Let's stand and sing our peace song together.
Yeah. No, but you saw my garage opening down. Oh, yes, yes. Okay. This is my package. I took this morning. Oh, my. Everything's out in the It's a nice story, Jerry. Yeah, it is. So I'm going to very slowly start putting stuff up there. Do it, girl. Yeah. Do it. And then today's our last What are you doing today? I'm not sure yet. Oh, okay. I got the books to me at 1 o'clock. If I
Well, we tried, so.
Our body says, oh, this is